Hi everybody, thanks for listening on World Book Day, 7th of March 2024. So, I've been around publishing for a long time and writing and books, having now written over 60 with those that are queued for publication. So, I've done it in various ways. I've self-published years ago. I've set up my own publishing business years ago. I've written for publishers, big and small, and I write for a big publisher today. So there's a lot of experience there. And the reason that I want to talk about that is not to promote myself, but to try and inspire other people that if I can do it, anybody can. And I think people get intimidated by the publishing process, and they get intimidated by publishers probably, and the thought of being public property, because you are. It doesn't matter if you've only just self-published a small booklet. You've still got a public persona. So there's a lot to get your head round, really. And I would say to anybody who's interested in writing a book, if you've got a book in you, get a copy in the first instance of the Writers and Artists Yearbook, which you'll always find in Waterstones, or we get things off Amazon these days, don't we? But get a copy of that, because it tells you everything you need to know about the writing process, the publishing process, lists publishers, literary agents, explains the legalities, copyright. I haven't looked at the new one this year, but there's bound to be a section in there on social media and digital publishing and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great manual and it's a great starting point. So that's what I did years ago when I started. And of course, these days, there's so much information online. I mean, it's much easier. What you've got to do as well is believe in yourself. You've got to believe you can do it. And the thing about it is nobody's going to write a book for you. You've got to do it yourself. And I've got a little saying that I have to say to myself sometimes, and I write full time now for Pen and Sword, and I treat what I do as a job. I've always had a strong work ethic. I'm driven, and I come to work every day to my office and I write. I'm currently writing this 8-volume official history of the Battle of Britain for the Battle of Britain Memorial Trust and National Memorial to the Few, which is a great honour. And it's a hard slog. It's a marathon journey. And writing is very isolating. You have to concentrate. I need quiet. I can't stand noise. Some people can play music and I can't. You know, I've even got ear defenders to wear sometimes when the noise outside the office gets to me. So, you know, you've really got to be aware of these things. But on the other hand, most people write books. They're in their full-time jobs. They've got families, as I did. And, you know, you have to find that spare time to write your book. Now, if you're looking for a publisher, one thing I would say you must tell a publisher is if you've got original material in the book, unpublished first-hand accounts and photographs, that's your key selling point. Make sure you tell them. And also, publishers like a relationship with an author who they're going to get several books out of. So if you've got ideas for other books, say so. Let them know. And when you're doing a book proposal, it only needs to be one side of A4 maximum. Maximum. It doesn't need to be War and Peace. You've just got to put the bait out there in a book proposal and the rest will follow. So if you write a book proposal that's War and Peace and it's reams of paper, nobody's even going to read it. People don't have time. It's a bit like emails, isn't it? Keep them short, keep them brief, keep them punchy, keep them to the point. You'll find publishers, generally speaking, are very helpful. They don't want to reject your book, actually. They want to publish it because publishers make money from publishing books. So don't be afraid. Go for it. And, you know, good luck, basically. Put yourself out there. If you're going to write a book, the reason you've written it isn't to make money, not at this level of the game. you've written it because you're passionate about it. You've put your heart and soul into it, and you want people to read it. You want people to read that story and share that journey with you. So to do that, you've got to be prepared to put yourself out there. Now, publishers have publicists and marketing departments, but they're generally small staffs, and they have lots of authors and lots of books to deal with. So a lot of it has to come from within. It has to come from the author, pointing them in the right direction as to where you're going to get publicity, or even just grasping the nettle and doing it yourself. And it's something I've always had a bit of a flair for, I suppose. I've never been afraid of getting up and standing in front of 1,000 people if I have to, and talking, or indeed talking to the world via the medium of YouTube. So, but you've got to be able to do these things if you're going to really maximise the benefit of having written a book and maximise the sharing of that story. So just be aware of that. You know, there's a lot to do. It's not just about sitting there on your own, isolated, writing, concentrating, producing this wonderful manuscript. When it's prepared, there's a process, there's a production process to go through. And then when the book comes out, you're going to be able to need to speak on the radio, with newspapers, and really try and drive it yourself as much as you can. It's very easy these days, isn't it? Just get your mobile phone, point it at yourself, and just talk about your book. And then you can upload that to all kinds of platforms on social media. So everything's changed, very easy. But just get on with it. Don't overthink it. Don't get bogged down in the detail. Just switch your computer on and start writing. Get on with it. Support from family and friends is essential. And really what family and friends must understand is the isolated nature of it. I've got to say that this project that I'm doing, it's taken 40 odd years to research and nearly 2 years now to write. And in the 2 years I've been writing it, it's been a totally immersive project and experience. It's been a real marathon. And I've always tried to have a well-rounded life. So it's not just my only interest. It's not just what I do. I'm interested in lots of things. And I love being outdoors and getting out walking, hills and mountains and things like that, and snorkeling and scuba diving. And since I've been doing this project, certainly over the last 18 months, I haven't done any of those things. So in that time, your health suffers a little bit. And, I've put weight on. I need to get out and exercise and sort that out again. So these are the kind of downsides to it. But family and friends are essential. My friends understand that when I'm on a project like this, when I'm writing a book, I'll disappear and I won't be about because I'll be working. And when it's finished, that's the time to catch up with people and get on with it, And my friends and my family obviously know me well, and they know how the process works. And I try and make it up to them in other ways at other times when I'm not so busy. The only problem is I'm so prolific. I have been very busy, especially over the last probably 4 or 5 years. But that's it. Family and friends are essential. And the other people who are absolutely essential are your readers and supporters who buy your books, support what you do on social media, subscribing to this YouTube channel, listening to these podcasts, watching the videos. Get on my Facebook page. I try and keep it lively. There's a lot of interesting stuff I put out on there. And, it's really important because these days I don't think we celebrate achievement enough. And we seem to have, a bit of a culture wanting to knock people who achieve something. And if you've written a book and you've put your heart and soul into it, you have achieved something. So it's really great to have a nucleus of people around you who respect what you do and like what you do and eagerly buy your books. I love it when a book comes out and people are posting on Facebook, oh, Dilip's latest book's just dropped on the mat, the post has been. It's a real buzz. And the day that a book comes out that I don't get a buzz, that'll be the day that hell freezes over and I'll stop doing what I'm doing. because it's such a buzz to see all that work and effort, all those hours and hours and hours and hours and hours that nobody else sees. Suddenly it's there in black and white, in print, as a physical entity in front of you. And then it's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. So please don't overthink it, but be aware nobody's going to do it for you, and just get on with it. And don't ever be afraid to seek advice. Alfred Price, the late Dr. Alfred Price, and Chris Shaw's, who is still with us, thankfully, two prominent aviation historians when I began my journey 40 odd years ago, and they were both extremely kind and helpful, and gave me lots of advice and pointed me in the right direction and things, which I thought was wonderful, really. So I've always tried to be like that myself. I'm always happy to advise people if I can and point them in the right direction, because I just love the thought that somebody else could go on the same journey that I've been on and get that same buzz of seeing it work in print. There's nothing like it. It's wonderful. So I hope that if you've listened to this, maybe some things I've said have resonated and you haven't fallen off your perch and gone to sleep. And if you like what we do, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get over onto my Facebook page. If you've got any comments, any feedback, good or bad, stick them on the comment section below. And enjoy World Book Day. I think that we should be celebrating World Book Day. We should be celebrating books. We should be celebrating authors. We should be celebrating publishers and the whole team that's behind it, the publicists, the editors, the proofreaders, the printers, everybody. And most of all, let's celebrate the readers, and long may we read actual books and not just things on screens. So thanks for listening. Enjoy World Book Day, and we'll catch up soon.